welcome to the Explainer. We're about to break down one of the most important naval battles ever. I mean, this is a clash where the entire course of Western civilization literally hung in the balance, all decided in this one narrow strait thousands of years ago. So picture this. It's 480 BCE, and you've got these two worlds on a collision course. On one side, you've got the Persian Empire. We're talking massive, unified, with a navy so big the world had literally never seen anything like it. And on the other side, the Greek city-states, a scrappy, fractured alliance of rivals, totally outnumbered, and basically fighting for their lives. So, how on earth did the little guy win? I mean, this is the ultimate underdog story, right? But it's so much more than that. It's this incredible masterclass in strategy, in psychology, in figuring out how to turn your enemy's biggest strength into their biggest weakness. So yeah, let's unpack the plan that changed absolutely everything. Okay, so before we get to the genius of the Greek victory, you really have to understand the scale of the problem they were up against. I mean, this wasn't just a battle. This was a last desperate stand against what seemed like an unstoppable force. You've got the Persian king, Xerxes. And look, he didn't just bring an army. He brought an invasion force designed for one thing: total conquest. His navy was just immense. We're talking ships from all across his empire. And on the open sea, everyone thought they were completely unbeatable. And by the time we get to our battle, the situation for the Greeks is, well, it's about as bad as it can get. The Persians had already smashed their way through Greece. Athens itself, the very heart of the Greek resistance, had been captured and burned to the ground. So the Greek forces, they're cornered, they're demoralized, and they are staring down complete and utter annihilation.
But right in this moment of total desperation, one guy sees an opportunity. Not in some glorious head-on fight, no. He sees it in a brilliant, calculated trap. A trap that would risk everything on one single, incredibly bold gamble.
And that man was Themistocles. He was this Athenian general who just got it. He understood a simple, brutal truth. If they fought the Persian navy in open water, it would be a complete slaughter. Game over. So what does he do? He stops thinking about his ships and starts thinking about the battlefield. He comes up with this plan to use geography, the very land and sea itself, as his secret weapon. And his plan was, well, it was genius in its simplicity. Just 4 steps. Step 1, lure the giant Persian fleet into the super narrow straits of Salamis. Step 2, trap them. Force the entire fight into this tiny confined space. Why? Well, that's step 3. Neutralize their biggest advantage, their numbers. All of a sudden, their hundreds of ships are just bumping into each other, a total traffic jam. They can't coordinate, they can't move. And then step 4, that's when you strike with your smaller, faster ships. You can just imagine King Xerxes, right? Sitting on his golden throne on a hillside, looking down at the bay, totally confident. He sees his massive fleet. He sees the tiny Greek force, and he thinks, this is it. Let's finish them. He was so sure of himself, he took the bait. Hook, line, and sinker. He ordered his fleet right into the straits. And this right here, this is the absolute heart of the strategy. Think of the Persian ships as these big, heavy battleships, amazing in open water. But in the narrow straits, that size becomes a massive problem. It's like trying to drive a semi-truck through a tiny alleyway. The Greek ships, on the other hand, were like speedboats. Smaller, faster, and built for exactly this kind of chaotic close-quarters brawl. They could just zip around and outmaneuver the clumsy giants. And it worked. It worked exactly as Themistocles had planned. The Persian formation just completely fell apart. Their own ships were jamming each other up. They couldn't turn. They couldn't coordinate. It was total chaos. And in that chaos, they were just sitting ducks for the Greek triremes, who came in ramming and disabling these huge ships with deadly precision.
The result? It was an absolute catastrophe for the Persians. We think they lost something like 200 ships in a single day. Their massive naval power, the thing that was supposed to guarantee their victory, was crippled, gone, in just a few hours. And the Greeks? Their losses were tiny in comparison. It's just unbelievable. Themistocles' crazy, audacious gamble didn't just work, it paid off bigger than anyone could have possibly imagined. It completely, totally turned the tide of the entire war.
So yeah, the immediate result was that Xerxes packed up and went home.
But the real reason we're still talking about this battle 2,500 years later is the long-term impact. See, this wasn't just the end of an invasion. It was really the beginning of a whole new era. This victory, it did way more than just save Greece. It basically created the breathing room, the oxygen, for this massive cultural explosion. This win is what kicked off the golden age of Athens. Because they felt safe, because they were confident, all these radical new ideas, things like democracy, philosophy, theater, art, they had a chance to grow and flourish. And those ideas, they became the bedrock, the foundational pillars of what we call Western civilization. I mean, let's just be super clear about this. The world we live in today was fundamentally shaped by what happened on that single day. It was this incredible proof that strategy can beat brute force, and it protected this fragile little experiment of ideas that would eventually change the entire world.
So, yeah, the Battle of Salamis gives us a pretty powerful answer, doesn't it? It shows how a smart plan, a deep understanding of your environment, can help you overcome odds that just seem impossible. It's this timeless lesson. And it kind of leaves you wondering, right? Where else, in history or even in our own lives today, can a clever plan completely triumph over brute strength?